I'm Dr. Rosie Kuhn. Hang on a second. Hello, I'm Dr. Rosie Kuhn. I had to get my microphone. And this is I Want to Be a Better Coach. And the intention of these uh, videos, this series, is to share things with you that I have discovered or explore and meet every single session with my clients, things that make me a better coach. And if they make me a better coach, I've been doing this for 25 years, then I suspect it could be helpful to support and empower you to be a better coach too. You may be listening as somebody who's working in a business or a department in a corporation, or as a bookkeeper, or as a nurse, or anybody that's working with and touching and tapping into other individuals' lives, and we get to connect and support and empower them. And you might go, yeah, I want to do that better. I want to know how to be more me authentically so I can show up for other people in a good way and make a difference. So that's what we're talking about. So today, we may be revisiting places that we've been before, but every time I have a client, I go, "That's so important. I'm going to bring that up again." So I'm just maybe coming back to things we've talked about before, but I don't, from my perspective, until you get it, you get it. And if you got it, put down in the comments below, Rosie, we get it. This is important. Uh, but just whatever. But at this point, I'm going to revisit some things that I think are really important. Um, I was with a client today, and actually, it's like every single client that I'm with, they come in the presence of some challenge, and this particular individual this morning, I'm going to call her Carlene. Carlene is like challenged because she's people who are reflecting to her stuff are telling her things. And so she's going asking me, hey, what do I do with this? And how do I change? Or how do they think I need to be more of this and I'm not that. So there must be something wrong or something not right. And I don't know what to do about that. And so I said to Carlene, I go, well, what is it you want? And she goes, well, I want less pain and disappointment. And I go, okay, great. And what else do you want? In a sense, like when somebody is coming to life coaches or therapists or something, there's a desire or a want. And sometimes they don't know how to speak to it. And so sometimes there's a longer conversation about it rather than me saying, hey, what do you want? And they say, I want a red Tesla and I want it tomorrow. That kind of thing. Very clear, delineated goals or results. Sometimes people don't know. And sometimes just holding that space. But in saying, here's what people are telling me, or here's what it looks like I'm supposed to be doing, and here's what's showing up for me, I, it's not, there's not an assumption that I know what to do with that. And so I have to ask, what is it you want? And so Carlene says, less pain and disappointment. It's like, okay, great. So she's has some people reflecting to her a way that they are telling her she's being. And I said, so where are you not that? So they were saying she's defended, armored, invulnerable, you know, resistant. And I, having worked with her for about 8 months now, not that long, I know places where she's not that. And so I go, where are you not that? And she goes, with my husband. And we'll call him Mark. And I go, okay, so how are you with Mark? And she has told me how he's her best friend and she feels so safe. And so she shares herself openly with Mark. She's not defended. She's not invulnerable. She's not protected. She's very open and sharing. And I said, look at that. And she's like, oh, I feel safe there to be myself. And I go, excellent. And so it started her on the conversation and on the in a sense all the data in her database is starting to, you can see all the little things blinking and thoughts changing and shifting, and she goes, so I guess I don't feel so safe with those people that I would be that open that I'm that open with Mark. I guess I don't feel that safety. So, in asking her about where she feels herself, where she's actually being that authentic, natural, undefended self, she's doing it in her life in many areas, one specifically with her husband, Mark. If I don't ask that question, then I'm coming from an assumption that she's resistant and invulnerable and backing off, all those kinds of things. But that's not the truth. So we always have to ask our client, where are you already doing what these people are telling you you should be doing? And quite often I have my little magic wand. Holy crap, I moved it. I moved my magic wand. And so we won't be seeing it today. But I'll say, hey, waving my magic wand, that resistant, invulnerable thing goes away. And when are you being that? And it's this whole openness shows up. And people say, I'm like this with my husband, or I'm like this with my children, or I'm like this with my dog, or I'm like this with my, spiritual community. It's like, okay, great. That's good to know. So quite often when people say, hey, it looks like I got a problem, or here's something that says people think I need to fix, I'll say, where are you already doing that? Where are you already doing the positive, the joyful, the connected, the playful, where are you already being what other people are telling you should be? It's really focusing on the positive of the individual's life. I'm calling it positive, but it's like, where are they already being who they want to be? Where are they already doing that? And when we can ask that, it opens them up, because generally speaking, most of us in the self-help, not the self-help, but the personal help field, we're focused on the negativity and where it's not working and where it's bad or where there's a problem, and we're trying to fix something. But in 99% of the cases, there's nothing broken. There's not a problem. So in asking Marlene, I think that's what I called her, and asking her Carlene, and asking her, where are you already doing this? She goes, oh, I'm already doing it here. And it's like, what makes that possible? She goes, I feel safe. I know this person's listening, and they connect with me in a way that I feel heard and seen and gotten. And I go, okay, great. So what's happening over here with these people? Do you feel safe? And it's like, not really. I felt some rejection on their part, that I was feeling rejected. I was feeling judged. I was feeling made wrong. I was feeling they were telling me I should be different. It's like, okay, great. Well, that makes sense. We start to see the wisdom and the maturity of every individual we're working with. We start to see where they're already utilizing and growing and cultivating this capacity to be who they want to be. And this, it's in a sense, this is very difficult. This is a paradigm shift in the helping profession. There's this thing called positive psychology, and it's this, but for us as coaches or support people, or even moms and dads and partners, to go, wow, you're already awesome. Then people have an opportunity to go, wait, what are you talking about? I'm always thinking there's something wrong. I've been told there's something wrong with me, or I've been telling myself my whole life there's something wrong. And I go, I get it. I know what that's like, and because of my own human experience, my own human adventure. But as listeners, listening partners, as thinking partners, if we go, where are you already doing it great? They go, oh, I'm already doing it great over here. It's excellent. They already know how to do it great. We just have to figure out why they're not doing it great over here. And with Carlene, it was like, well, that makes perfect sense. I don't feel safe to be anything but what I'm being with these people. And so it becomes their issue, the other person's issue, to say, hey, I want you to be different. It's like, yeah, no, this is who I am with you. This is my way of being me with you. And if that's not okay, that's a different issue. The other person I want to bring this up with is another client. I'm going to call her Linda. And Linda is married to, we'll call him Bill, Linda and Bill. And Linda is watching her husband go through a shift and a change, and he was supposed to get a promotion, and he didn't get that promotion, but he got a shift in a job to a different job. And she goes, oh, he's not going to like that. And oh, he's going to be upset about that. And oh, I think he's just going to drown in his sorrows about that. And I went, well, that's really interesting. Linda has this interpretation that her husband, Bill, is going to be upset and not function well and be pissed off with this less than perfect promotion. So she's already anticipating the negativity. She's already anticipating he won't do well and he won't learn or he won't grow or he won't whatever. And I said, now let's just stop here for a second, because I said, you're already imposing a negative perception on the circumstance. I said, do you see Bill as intelligent? Yes. He's 36, I think. She's 32. Do you see him as respectful? Yes. Do you see him as wise? Yes. Do you see him as mature? Yes. Do you see him as capable of making change and thinking differently? Yes. So where in that is not the capacity to actually mature through this less than perfect promotion? So a lot of times we denigrate other people's abilities to be wise and knowing and have the capacity to make the differences or the choices they need to make in order to make their life worth, live well in a sense. So it was a really good situation where this woman is very intelligent and wise and, mature in so many ways. And it's like, do you see how what you're expecting of your husband, Bill, kind of imposes that on him? And she's like, again, you can see the little computer pieces, boop, 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 boop. And she kind of quietly went, yeah. And I go, that influences the outcome for him. If you can hold for him that he has the wisdom and maturity and the intellect and the capacity to grow through this less than perfect promotion, you don't have to say anything. You don't have to preach or tell him, oh, this is a good thing or this is a blessing in disguise. All those things we say, we just hold that space for, hey, this guy knows enough that he can grow himself through these challenges. That's a really important thing for us to, and so in working with Linda on this, she's done a lot of growing and changing on her own. When she started working with me about a year ago, she was pretty cut off from everything. She just was in a little walled off orientation in the world. But she's able to soften and there's a fluidity, and she calls it's radical. She was this, and what she's experiencing as the possibility of alternatives, she says it's radical. And I go, yes, because in the United States at least, that demand for constant achievement, if we're not in that state, then we feel wrong or bad or not enough, or we're not working hard enough, or there's something I should be doing differently, rather than, wow, you're up to your eyeballs in alligators and you think you should be continuing to swim the English Channel with alligators all over you. It's like, when is enough? And when is there a place where you're going, wait, something's going on here? And at the end of our call, we were talking, and she's moving. She's just come back from a major event in Europe, and she went to some graduations for families and all this stuff. And I say, what's the big takeaway for you? And she goes, I forget. I'll get back to it. um, she's like, the last two times I moved, I got very, very sick, and I don't want to get sick this time. And she's in the process of a big move. And she said, I don't want to get sick. And so that's what I'm focusing on, is not getting sick. And that was a hell yes. That's a radical shift in what's the achievement to be, I'm focusing on. My achievement is not to get sick and to stay healthy and well through this move process. From that achievement oriented, from the work oriented, to my achievement would be and is to stay healthy. That's extraordinary. It's a positive orientation that is growing her capacity to be positive with herself and see a different orientation in the world that's positive. So this is what I'm listening for, is where are people in alignment with their intention? Where are they in alignment with their well-being? Where are they in alignment with who they know themselves to be? And sometimes, just like what I just did, it's kind of convoluted, and I go, oh yeah, what are we focusing on? It's like, yeah, what is that? So with Carlene and with Linda, it's this place where they're both in alignment with their own truth. And Carlene said, Rosie, thank you for bringing me back to my center. Because I get lost in, I'm responsible to those people who are telling me I should be different because they need me or want me to be different. I feel responsible to them for that. It's like, thank you for bringing me back to me, where I'm only need to be responsible to me and know the experience of safe enough or not safe. And I'll act accordingly. So when we can, again, focus and attend to the positivity, attend to where your client is already doing what's great for themselves, and they're free and they're authentic and they're spontaneous, they're playful. We go, you're doing it over here. You're doing it. That's awesome. And where is it a challenge? Where is it hard? Where does it get sticky? Where does it get, where do you get stopped? Because we now have a spectrum. We now have, hey, here's where you're doing it great. And what gets in the way? And they will tell you. Because we're not making them wrong, and we're not saying, hey, there's something. We go, hey, here's where you're doing it great. What makes that possible? Here's where you're having challenges. What makes that possible? And we give them the spectrum. And it is life affirming for them. It's affirming that they are being seen for their awesomeness, that you respect them. I respect these clients. I go, I know, and you've heard me say this, my job is to let you know that I know that you know. And so when I'm talking to them from this place of knowing, that cultivates their awareness, like, I do know. And I do know what's true here. I do know what it's like to respect and trust myself. I do know. And that begins the greater capacity to explore, where am I not doing that? Or where do I get stopped? Or where does it show up? Like, we don't know until it shows up. Every day provides us with opportunities to challenge ourselves to see our center, know our center, connect with our center, engage from our center. And that's what, for me, good life coaching is all about. And the more that we as coaches can listen from that place, but we have to be the willingness to open to that conversation. And so this brings me to the second part of this conversation, which is, what am I listening from? So as a coach, I'm listening. I'm always listening. But what am I listening for in my client? Like, where's the problem? Where can I offer a solution? Where can I fix this? Where can I see the blah, 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 where I can be magical and inspirational or motivational or, help with the breakthrough? That's a lot of our listening as a coach. And my listening from is like, oh, I'm writing this article. Is this related to that? Or, oh, I have this thing I'm doing over here. Maybe they'll be one of those people who could, I have all this listening going on, as well as being present and in presence to who they are in this knowing, their knowing and my knowing. So this, what am I listening from, is if I'm listening from um, that place of I have to know better, I have to know more, I have to be smarter, I have to be more creative, I have to be, I have to be, I have to be, then I'm not really attending to what's true for the client. And so I have to I have to be uh, clear about that listening. So again, when I can listen from my principle that all clients are brilliant, all clients are know what they know, all clients already have the tools they think they don't have, all clients have this greatest capacity for the potential to be awesome. If I come in my listening, if that's it, then I'm going to speak from that place. So Carlene says, my friends are telling me I should be more of this, and I'm this, and I'm this. And I go, what's true for you? And she goes, hey, I didn't want to. I didn't, she knows. There's no problem. I just have to ask the right question, ask from that place of, I know she knows. Where are you already spontaneous and authentic and not in a state of fear or resistance or... And she goes, over here. I was like, excellent. You already know that. And what's the difference? And she goes, oh, I feel safe and I feel heard and I feel connected and I feel this person cares. Excellent. She knows. So if we as coaches know that they know, and this is a thing as part of my training programs, is training the coaches I'm training to know that the clients know, they're finding huge difference in how they coach. They go, oh yeah, when I come from that, my clients are seem much more happy and more relaxed and more moving along much more quickly, because we recognize their potential, or the potential that they already know they have, and they can live into it because they already are. We just have to ask, where are you already living into that? It's fun, and it's a challenge to get at. For me, it's been a challenge to get out of my way of problem solving or fixing or being the hero or aren't I awesome and smart and wise? And I realized that as much as I've learned in 3 master's degrees and a PhD, as much as I've learned in 45 years of doing this work, my mastery comes in my capacity to be here with my client and go, who are you? And who are you in those moments where you are your most authentic self? And how do you do that? How do you be that? What's it take? And they'll tell you. And when do you get stopped? Where does it get sticky? Where does it get scary? Where does it get... And Carlene said something very important. She said, sometimes things get blurry. And when they're blurry, I get confused and I get scared. And then I go, of course, that makes perfect sense. Like there's nothing to fix. You go, oh, it's blurry. We must fix something so she can see. And I go, it makes perfect sense. It gets scary. And it's like, I don't know what to do with the blurry. And I said, well, sometimes when things are blurry, I have to lean in. And then things get clear. And sometimes I have to lean out. And things get clear. And sometimes I'm not quite sure what to do and how to do it. And I'm not sure where that is. My cat is coming in, so you'll hear her meowing. Hey, Luz. So when we can allow our clients to go, well, when it gets blurry, what's that like? Like there's no right or wrong. There's nothing to fix. We go, what's it like? And they go, I get unsure. It's like, excellent. What do you do when you get unsure? I retract, and it's like, excellent, good. That's a good thing to do because that's a safe place. And we allow people to be who they are. And when people are allowed to be who they are, they allow themselves to be who they are. And this is where, like Carlene said, thank you for allowing me to come back to my center. And that's our job. I think, as life coaches, is to bring people back into their center, into alignment with who they know themselves to be. And in that, they can choose much more effortlessly. Hey, kitty. Hi, kitty. Hi, kitty. Come here. Come say hi. Come here. You haven't said hi yet. This is Lucy. This is Lucy. And Lucy's been on a walkabout for 7 days. She's just back today. She's not quite sure, but I'm glad she's home. So I think that's pretty much it for today. That's a lot. And let me know what you think in the comments below. And if this is valuable, give me a like. If it's not valuable, give me a down and comment. Tell me what you think is not valuable here. It's great to have that feedback. So, and if you find it valuable enough to share with other people, I'm happy for you to do that as well. All right. And the other thing, one more thing, is if you're interested or curious, I have a coaching group of coaches that we meet every other week, and we talk about these places that challenge us as coaches, and we support each other in looking at it in a way that might be more effective for you as the coach and for your clients. So my email address is below, so check that out if you want to. Otherwise, I'll see you next week. All right. Thanks for being here. Bye for now.